Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Backlog Banter. This is episode 4, and I hit Abram with an intro that he wasn't expecting. But we're just gonna go right off. This is our off the cuff bullshit show about video games, and this is a special week, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't played any video games since the last time we talked, so we're gonna be playing with the format a little bit. First 3 episodes were just us rattling off the games we played last week. I can't do that this week. I am unable to. I have not played anything. So we're just gonna figure out how to bounce around and do this
Yeah,
off the
we're
fluff, off the fly. You know what I'm saying?
off the rip, if you will.
No, I won't.
You won't? Well, here's what I'll do. I'll talk about the games I have played, then we'll go from there because I have played a video game or two in my
Sure.
time, but also in the past week. So last time we recorded, it was the morning of the partner showcase. And that partner
Yes.
showcase brought a lot of the goods, if you will, pardon my language. And I picked up quite a few games after that. I picked
Quite
up
a few goods.
a couple goods. I stimulated, in the words of Scott DeWaz, I stimulated the heck out of the economy that day. And I picked up 3 games, but I've only played 2 of them, and I'm going to touch on. First one I want to touch on is No More Heroes. I don't think you started the game. We're going to review it this week. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I want to talk about the game a little bit. I want to talk about it a little bit. I fucking lost my mind for No More Heroes 1 and 2 on Switch, and then the reveal of 3 in a proper way in the partner showcase. But I've never really gotten to get into the series properly, and I think these Switch ports are
except
a great
with the spin-off game.
With the spin-off game, which I have the
Yes.
highest review score on Metacritic for, not
Yes.
to toot my own horn. Is that
Which
a
is
positive?
No More
I don't know.
Heroes. Travis Strikes Again, right? Travis Strikes Back. Travis
Strikes Again, No More Heroes.
Okay, same shit, but yeah.
No More Heroes 1 is a really weird game. It's a game that shows its age in some ways, but feels as fresh today as it must have at launch in others.
Okay.
So it's a quasi open world game, and its open world elements are just terrible, but by today's standards. Because when this game launched as a Wii exclusive, open world games on Wii, that was a different bar than where they are.
Yeah,
now.
it's true.
So it feels very vapid. The game feels empty in a lot of respects. It's got a lot of repeated interior locations. It's a little bit drab. It's fairly empty, but it's a strange juxtaposition because that's contrasted against some of the most bizarre and innovative and fresh feeling ethos and gameplay and aesthetic that I've seen in a long time. It's the combat that feels incredibly peculiar, and I'm not sure where I sit on it yet because I've beaten, I think, 4 of the assassins so far.
Okay.
And it's a hack and slash, but it's a hack and slash that has chance-based elements in it, that has this lotto wheel. So after you kill an enemy, a lotto wheel spins, and if you hit 3 of a kind, you get an interesting modifier that completely changes the way Travis controls and allows him to kill enemies in different ways. And he'll yell things like blueberry cheesecake brownie. And I don't know why he does it, but he does it every time. The game is very surreal. And I think that's what's most appealing about it.
Sure.
Because you're playing as this otaku who lives out of a motel, who wants to fuck this French girl named Sylvia. And the only way that he can fuck Sylvia is to become the best assassin in the world.
Okay.
So you're fighting these eclectic characters with this weird, like, quasi-chance-based, light beat-em-up elements. You can kill people with suplexes because Travis is also a wrestling fan. You have to pay an entry fee to get into these challenge matches. So you do part-time jobs like literally mowing lawns and picking up trash in the road.
Mm-hmm.
The game is just bizarre amalgamation of things. What it feels like is, Katamari said with your little man, you roll things up, right? For people who aren't familiar.
Sure.
It feels like Suda 51 was just rolling shit together into a video game.
Okay.
He's walking around his home, picking up shit and balling it up, and that's what No More Heroes became. I don't think on a gameplay perspective, like I said, it's all that inventive. I think where the game succeeds is the fact that the way it combines elements and its weird spins make it incredibly unique.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that if I had to look at the game objectively, my opinion would be far less fond than my subjective opinion of the game is.
Sure.
And for those reasons, I'm super curious what you're going to think when you play it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Listening to you talk about this game, I realized that I have never seen gameplay of No More
Sure.
Heroes. I didn't know the story. I didn't know those different gameplay elements. I didn't know there was an open world. I didn't know anything about this game except for I knew the Travis character, who,
Yeah.
by the way, I heard about for the first time in the Switch 2017 January press conference when
Sure.
Suda51 announced that they were making more No More Heroes games. So I'm unfamiliar. I would
Mhm.
to say the least. What you said intrigues me. Are you going to finish the game?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Uh,
we can still plan to eventually do a review. We're not going to
oh,
push,
totally.
but I am more interested now that you've described it a little bit, but I would like to prepare for a series review as we go through each game.
Yeah, definitely. I want to finish it. I've just had a lot of other things to play, both for CBR that I have to play to review, and just other things that came out at the same time.
Sure.
That are keeping me busy. The other game, of course, that came out that I have written probably an unholy amount about is Pikmin 3 Deluxe.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No one's talking about that, to be 100% honest.
and it's unfortunate. It's
Yeah.
not surprising, but it's unfortunate.
I've actually seen one tweet about it, which is that the prologue content is not very good.
I haven't even played that yet. I've just been playing the
Okay.
main story.
That's the only thing I know about the game.
I'm gonna keep it a little bit brief because I do have a full video about Pikmin coming out with a very special guest very soon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But Pikmin is a lovely series. It's this really interesting contrast between this natural aesthetic with these really cute Pikmin creatures and this far more serious and engaged tactical gameplay. There's very few things that are like Pikmin, especially Nintendo's catalog, and the way it asks you to think about strategy and think about spatial relationships and time management and puzzle solving feels almost Fire Emblem-esque, to draw a Nintendo comparison, in the
Sure.
context of a more action-heavy game. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a quasi RTS. It's to the RTS genre what Splatoon is to the third-person shooter
Sure.
team-based genre.
Sure.
And for that reason, I just think it's really endearing. It's got a great personality. Its characters are they're so fun and so quirky. The game has a really weird sense of humor and a really weird in-world energy because you're playing as these off-world characters who end up on this planet PNF 404.
Yeah.
And you find fruit, but they don't know the names of the fruit. So you're gonna find a strawberry, but they call it, I forget, but they call it like a cherry, a Cupid's grenade, and all of these weird things. From their perspective, this is what they think of these things. Or
Okay.
you'll find like old cell phones or other old pieces of tech, and they've got their own names for those. So it's just this endearing gameplay experience that I think challenges the player in a unique way.
Mhm.
And I hope that Nintendo comes to their senses and slashes this price. They won't, but I think they should.
Sure.
Because Pikmin shouldn't be a hard sell, but it is. And I think that
Yeah. I mean, as someone who's a hardcore Nintendo fan who's been interested in Pikmin for a while, I want to play this game, but I do not want to buy it for $60, especially because I was able to get the original on Wii U for 20, and I have it. So
it's a tricky situation because I think the game certainly commands that $60 price tag. But I think at a certain point you need to sacrifice the price tag for the long-term success of the series.
yeah.
Because I think that a competitively priced $30-$40 Pikmin 3 Deluxe
Oh yeah.
Gets a lot more people in the door and sets them up for a Pikmin 4.
Yeah.
There's conflicting data coming out of Japan, out of the UK about how the game is selling. The physical sales are down, but physical sales are down across the board as a trend because of COVID, believe it or not. And it seems like the game is doing actually quite well in Japan, so it's unclear this is going to shake out. It did not hit number one on the US eShop. I think Hades still has that.
Sure.
So I don't know. It's unfortunate. I'm also looking forward to pushing through to the end of this one, of course.
Yeah.
But I implore people to check it out. But it's one of those things where I completely understand why they're not, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, we'll just see how the game turns out in terms of the Nintendo zeitgeist. It did not get the bubble that it needed at its launch, which is unfortunate. I wasn't in that bubble because I didn't engage with any Pikmin content at the time. But as far as I know, there wasn't a lot. Which, you know, we've got a lot of stuff coming out. We've got a lot of stuff that will be coming out. I don't know. It's unfortunate for Pikmin because it's a series that I do hope expands in the future. It's obviously been a little bit stagnant. I don't think Hey Pikmin drew any new fans.
No.
And unfortunately, this was kind of their chance to have the series blow up in any significant way. But it didn't really get that. I think Pikmin 4 is going to happen. And I hope Nintendo gives it the push that it needs and not dwarf it by a fucking Zelda game again. Um, but unfortunately, Pikmin 3 Deluxe just got the passover. So,
Yeah, this was an unfortunate example of Nintendo killing their own game.
yep.
Because from a quality perspective, Pikmin is there. But when you drop the announcement randomly on Twitter and then
Yeah.
hold the game for months, and then 15 minutes after you drop great reviews, you drop a partner showcase, throwing a couple things on Twitter, having a couple ads on YouTube doesn't cut it.
No.
Then pricing
Yeah.
the game at $60, it was just not set up to succeed, and it's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
But I have been playing two other things I want to touch on.
Okay.
I have been playing a little bit of Overcooked 2.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. My girlfriend and I have been playing this, and we have been playing it online together. A
Mm-hmm.
big new addition to Overcooked 2 was online multiplayer. And I can't wait to see her in December. Period. That's where that thought ends. But as it relates to Overcooked, I can't wait to play it with her in person because this game is not serviced by online.
Yeah.
Um, it's still the fun gameplay experience, and I really love the frenetic pace of Overcooked. I think it's a wonderful multiplayer series, but it's that camaraderie and energy on the couch, you know, when you're playing with others that makes it special.
Yeah.
It loses that online.
Mhm.
And it runs smoothly, but it's just not the same experience. I don't think.
Yeah. I don't play a lot of online games in general. I especially don't really play cooperative online games.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I would enjoy many cooperative. There's a lot of multiplayer indie games that are either competitive or cooperative
Yeah.
that I really like playing with my friends. Unfortunately, COVID doesn't really allow for a lot of that in-person gameplay. My friends and I were really into doing things like playing Overcooked, like playing Jackbox together, like playing Lovers in Dangerous Space Time, and of course switching through a bunch of different fighting games, My Heroes One Justice, ARMS, Smash Ultimate. But multiplayer is just sort of a separate deal for me. I do
Sure.
multiplayer games when the situation is perfect for it.
Yeah.
I find it hard to coordinate with friends, and especially when it comes to online, where I'm not really into a lot of online ecosystems, even though I have a PC and I just prefer to complete my own games at my own pace and not feel like I'm tied down to others.
Yeah.
But I do think that games like Overcooked, like Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time, benefit so much from the local multiplayer aspect of it. The fact that you have to get your friends together to do it, and that's just the entire ethos of the game and its nature. That I don't think playing them online would be great. I remember you
Yeah.
asked me if Lovers had online, I think last week, and no, I don't. As far as I know, it doesn't. But I don't think that game would work online,
Yeah.
especially because there's so much communication that you need in that game and in Overcooked as well. But yeah, no, I like a lot of multiplayer games. But I find most of my multiplayer games that I'm excited for, the indie games with fresh new ideas, with cool art styles that I really feel like could pull my friends together for a great gameplay session, are the kind of games that I buy. I buy because I always get them on my Switch. And I play with my friends for one session in like 30 minutes. Then we get distracted by something else. We go get food. We do something, and we never really play them again because
Yeah.
then we're like, okay, we've had that experience. And maybe that's just the dynamic that my friend group has when it comes to cooperative multiplayer games. But I want to beat Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. I have played those first two levels probably 10 times in my life, and I've never gotten past them because we just spend an hour and a half playing the game, and then we've had our fill, and it's hard to come back to it. Things like Heave Ho, a game that I really enjoy and I think is a high quality product, but we're never going to get back to that. Like we dicked around in it, and that's unfortunately where a lot of those games fall for me.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Local co-op is really excellent, but it's also really situational.
Yeah.
Um, I do want to commend Team 17 and the devs and the Overcooked team for putting online in there.
Yeah,
I do think at least the option is nice,
I agree. Yes.
especially currently.
Yeah.
Whatever online can be present, I think is really great.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's clearly not the prime way to play.
Yeah, I think the last thing I want to say about that is obviously our situation with COVID has changed how many people we're having over, and
Yeah.
the fact that I'm at college and I don't have my high school friends here, and my college friends are not gamers because most of them are journalism girls. But even my roommate, he likes video games, but he doesn't really get into them. And I think that the fact that I don't live with anyone to consistently play multiplayer games with, at least locally, um, it just means that I don't really feel the draw ever. I would love
Sure.
to pull Tanner in and make him play Portal 2 co-op with me, or work our way through a couple of the multiplayer indie games that I have. But I don't know. That's not his cup of tea, and I'm not going to force that on him. But it's just interesting that games that are so well designed that I think deserve a lot more attention than they get so shafted by the modern gameplay philosophy of a lot of people, and even myself. I mean, I didn't grow up playing co-op multiplayer games. It was Mario Kart, DS, and Smash, and battling Pokemon occasionally. That was really my only multiplayer, and then bam, right into online, which is Minecraft servers, and then TF2, Overwatch, all these games that are round based that you can get into quickly. And the local co-op experience has just kind of been pushed to the wayside, which I think is unfortunate, but I'm part of the problem, so I can't complain too much.
Let's segue. I actually, time no longer passes in a linear fashion. So I remember I've got two other games to talk about. And one of them is something I also played in co-op with my girlfriend that I don't know if you have thoughts on. I don't know if you hopped into this event, but we hopped into Animal Crossing New Horizons on Halloween.
Oh, no, I was busy that night.
Yeah. But we played a little bit. And I really have developed a strange relationship with Animal Crossing's online. Because in certain respects, I think that is the optimal way to play that game.
Sure, yeah.
But
Yeah.
Nintendo has not designed it
No,
for that at all, which is
no.
a terrible juxtaposition in design.
I just got a phone call that went away after approximately half a second. That was very odd. Okay, continue.
Well, the restrictions about what you can and can't do in Animal Crossing with somebody else is fucking absurd. And it extends to a weird degree. So on
Yeah.
Halloween, you give your villagers candy. They were like, hey, trick or treat. They dress up, they come and find you. You give them candy, they give you spooky furniture. It's a fun little event.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that a little bit while my girlfriend was getting ready, and then I opened up my gates for her. She came over, and then the villagers stopped doing that. You you can no longer do the candy game with them when someone else is on the island.
Is there like an in-game explanation, like how Blathers gets fucking anxiety when someone else comes over and he can't accept fucking fossils?
No, they just stop. They'll just talk. They'll just have a regular conversation with you.
Hmm.
So that was weird.
Are they dressed up at least?
Yeah, they still fucking
Okay.
walked around in their costumes. They just don't want candy anymore. I don't know, but it was nice to hop in with her and just get to run around, catch some fish, talk to Jack, take like creepy photos with the filters. We dressed
Yeah,
up. I dressed
sure.
up as a frog, which was fun. I had a
Okay.
frog hat and put frog clothes on. So it was just
Unfortunately,
a
froggy chair is still missing. Still missing in
no
action.
froggy chair, no froggy chair. One of my favorite memes is Thanos saying it's a small price to pay for froggy chair or something. I love that meme.
It's a very specific meme for so many reasons.
Yeah, um, but yeah. So I just that was worth a brief mention.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. I mean, I think that the weirdness of Animal Crossing New Horizons online is just a beast in itself. I have not played like consistent online since a few months after, or like the first few
Mhm.
months the game came out, which I was playing every few days with my friends, trading with people when the game was really popular, and I had a lot of friends playing it. But even then, it was bad. And if we wanted to get like, I remember you and two of my other friends, we tried to get together, and it just when you have more than like two people, it's just It's just hell. It does not work properly, which is very unfortunate because, as you said, and as I've brought up in our past Animal Crossing videos, card in the corner if I can remember, the online aspect of that game and the community building around it, I think, is where the game is its strongest. But they've just shafted themselves, and I have no clue why. I have no clue why. I remember when the game was getting its mini directs and things like that were talking about all the new features, and they were like, okay, you can like sort of customize how people interact with your island, and the online is more robust. You can have 4 people living on one island and playing locally and all this stuff. And then that was in there, but they just neglected to mention that, oh yeah, you can't do a lot of stuff if friends are over.
Yeah.
You can't do certain, like you have to wait for a bunch of different loading screens. You can't just leave your island open. You can't, like, there's just a lot of weird issues that Nintendo put in for some reason.
I don't even want them to let us like have a persistent Minecraft-esque situation where you can
No,
both
yeah.
physically live in the same island and do everything. I don't even care about that. What
Although
I
that would
want-
be cool.
It would be cool. And it would also be a great perk for Switch Online members, something like that.
Yeah.
But I just want to be able to go to my girlfriend's island and help her decorate it. Because like she's always telling me like, oh, I never have time to actually put it together. I really play when we play together. So why can't I go over there and fucking put something on the ground?
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking for.
Or put something on the ground while she's
Yeah.
she's on your island. God damn it.
I don't know.
Fucking Animal Crossing.
Fucking let me put something down or draw 25. Draw 25 apparently in the words of Nintendo. Fucking draw amiibo cards. I've had a bajillion of those at home. The last game I want to talk about.
That was a bad joke reference. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, continue.
Yeah. As soon as I started, I'm like, this is destined for failure. This is not going to go well.
You know what it's like to live as.
Yes.
Feel so desperately that you're right. But fucking Thanos is here all the same. I can't remember the quote.
Let's try to salvage this fucking transition and talk about a game that has not been talked about for 15 years. Do you want to take a guess what it is?
I remember yesterday was the Ratchet and Clank 18th anniversary or something like that, and also the Chicken Little 16th anniversary.
It was neither. I'm referring to Star Wars Republic Commando.
Ah, goddamn! Oh, that's right. Your fucking stupid, your stupid Star Wars game that you were so excited about.
Well, the stupid Star Wars game I bought was Star Wars Rebel Strike 1+2, which is an FMV Sega CD game. But the controls on Steam are legitimately broken. Legitimately.
Okay. All right.
I tried to research it. I can't fix them. Literally, I feel like I wasted $350.
I'm a lot to waste, but
not a lot.
Hold on. If you've played less than 2 hours, you can return it. You know that.
But I want to play it, so I'm gonna figure it out. Because the problem is it boots through DOSBox, so there's just a lot of.
I don't even know what that means.
Don't worry about it. So the reason we're talking about instead the other one I bought on sale, which is Star Wars Republic Commando.
Okay.
I want to talk a little bit about Republic Commando, but I want to talk about this thing called Steam. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I am familiar. I'm very familiar.
Republic Commando launched on Windows and Xbox in 2005. Okay. On the console side, it was Xbox exclusive. That game was meant to be played with a controller. It was an Xbox game that was then backported to PC. Sure. The PC version always was a little bit worse. For instance, the mouse acceleration is so disgustingly bad in the menus you can barely click on things. You literally have to download a fan patch to make this work.
Okay.
But you can't use a controller because the PC version, even though it was developed for Xbox, has no native controller support.
Okay. Well, so I don't think that's Steam's fault.
Well, here's the thing. No, Steam is the savior in this story.
Oh, okay. Honestly, when you say we have to fucking talk about Steam, I thought you were just gonna shit on Steam.
No, I'm gonna praise Steam. It's incredibly strongly right now.
Wow.
Because I booted the game. I booted the game in big picture mode with my DualShock 4. This blue DualShock 4 connected. Mm-hmm. This is clearly not something that's new, but I learned that you can use a gamepad and bind whatever you want to it.
Yeah, they have a very nice system where you can change any buttons.
And you can download other people's bindings from inside the game. If you launch Republic Commando and then open up the Steam menu and then go to browse controller configurations, any Republic Commando Repcom, if you're a cool kid, any Repcom controller config is there, and you can vote on it. So then
Repcom.
they're ranked by how many people like the controller configurations, and you can see what it does. People can write a description of what it is. So like I found one that emulates the Xbox controls, but the way an Xbox shooter controls isn't how a modern shooter controls. So I found another control scheme someone made that emulates how shooters now modern play in the modern sense, aim down sights on left, fire with right, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to enjoy the game with a really nice control scheme. And I just keyboard and mouse is just not my thing, right? And once I got the controller figured out, this is a really interesting game.
Okay.
It is a single player squad based tactical shooter.
Okay. Never heard of it.
What essentially it means is you're playing as the leader of Delta Squad. You got 3 other clone commandos with you.
Mm-hmm.
On the D-pad and on one of your buttons, you can assign them different things. You can assign them targets to take down. You can assign them different cover positions to take. You can send them after objectives. You can have them breach walls for you. You can have them clear rooms. You can have them hold positions. So if you're just playing as a straightforward shooter, you're not going to do especially well. The success in this game relies upon your strategic planning and the way you leverage your teammates, because this isn't bad AI. Like, it's not like you're playing Uncharted and fucking Chloe is going to empty an entire clip and a half into somebody and they're not going to die. They're not here for show. They're legitimate pieces of the gameplay experience that you have to leverage. And if you do that, it's a really rewarding push and pull of kinetic first person shooting with this more removed strategic planning. And I think it's an interesting approach to the shooter in the context of a fun Star Wars story that's more grounded, more mature. My only issue with it is that the shooting feels fucking awful. It feels terrible. You shoot somebody and there is no feedback when you hit a target.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like you're hitting anything. So you just hammer shots into somebody till they die, which is how you play a shooter, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the great successes of the modern shooter is the way that every shot feels like you hit something, and I didn't feel that playing Repcom.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, I think the overall design of the game is so strong that I'm gonna push through.
Sure. Yeah. Do you know how long it is?
It's not a long one. I think 10, 12 hours. Not especially meaty.
I'd like to know your final thoughts once you're able to push through the game.
Yeah.
I'll let you know that I does not sound anything I would want to play. In many regards.
I didn't think it would.
The complexity of setting that up just sounds like a nightmare. I'm not a huge fan of strategy games. Even with Fire Emblem, I just fucking bulldoze. I'm an asshole in Fire Emblem.
Or shooters, really. I know you're not too big of a shooter guy either.
I play shooters, but I'm not good at them. I don't like getting good at games, so I don't know. But I mean, it sounds interesting. I've never heard anyone talk about this before. I assume that you just got it because it was an on sale thing or had you heard of this somewhere? Did you get it recommended?
I gotta spin you a yarn for this one.
Oh God.
I was a young boy of maybe 6 or 7, and I had a PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved that PlayStation 2. Let me tell you something. I fucking love that PlayStation 2. And I was sitting in the living room one day playing Lego Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And I get alerted by my mom that a neighbor has an old computer that they're getting rid of and wanted to know if I wanted it. And I did.
That's awesome.
Now, this was of an era where that computer didn't have built-in Wi-Fi. I couldn't get that joker connected to the internet. It was just a computer.
Okay.
It wasn't connected to anything. So I play the little built-in games. But I also got a CD copy of Republic Commando as a young boy. Now, I couldn't make this computer output sound either.
Okay, wait. So maybe there were some reasons they were getting rid of this thing.
So I'll never forget scraping together the $10 needed to buy this CD off of Amazon. Hard to do. Couldn't do it. Ask my grandma. My grandma fronted the currency, if you will. I liquidated my offshore accounts and ended up with a copy for Public Commando. I played it briefly. I enjoyed it, but I just didn't really know how to make a computer work. So I went back to playing Lego Star Wars and Battlefront 2. Right?
Great.
But that fucking stuck with me because I'm in the Star Wars ecosystem, if you will.
Yeah.
And people always talk about Repcom
Do they?
all the time. It's really a beloved game.
Okay.
There was 2 planned sequels, both canceled.
Interesting.
Imperial Commando and Rebel Commando.
Okay.
Both canceled, production issues. It happens. But this game endures. Let me tell you something, it endures, and people still love it. And I wanted to actually give it a shot and play through it.
Sure.
So I did not finish it yet. But
No, but you started, and that's a good place to start.
I know. I bought it.
Okay, well, I have no more comments on that. I do think that the story certainly helps my ethos for this game, because at first I was like, God damn it, Abram's fucking finding another dumb game no one gives a shit about and just playing it for no reason. Like how you know what? We're gonna bring up something.
Okay.
How did playing Rise of the Tomb Raider go? How much of that fucking game did you play?
Well, it's downloaded.
Oh, you never started it.
No.
Oh, you were
Reason I
fucking
was-
hype. You were fucking excited.
Right, but then I realized that the day after the Crown Tundra came out.
Oh, you know what? Reasonable.
But I have it installed, and I almost thought about opening it up yesterday, but instead I opened up Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, are we gonna talk about that?
Well, no,
Okay.
because I only got as far as updating it
Oh.
and looking at the menu.
Oh.
I do enjoy Ghost of Tsushima,
Yeah.
but I think it came out right before I moved to college, or not. But
No, it came out in the
played-
summer, and we were supposed to play it before that, but then we moved to college.
Oh, I think I started playing Metroid Other M.
That's true. Nope.
And I got distracted from Ghost of Tsushima. It's a game, and I'd like to get back to it.
Yeah.
We should play Legends together.
I'm not opposed.
I'm not really in favor of it, but I'm not.
Then why would
opposed
you
to it.
why would you suggest?
I wanted to put the feelers out.
You know how much I fucking hate this light? You know how much this bothers me? You know how much I hate recording between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.? I'm very excited to move to the fucking house in what, 9 days?
It's incredibly moving to a home. We need to talk about this on BLBS next week.
This week.
I'll be in a home for this one.
Oh,
too.
true. Yeah. Abram's
Yeah.
moving home. And
Home.
I think actually that should transition us to something.
Yeah, sure.
Why don't we do it live and on camera?
Oh,
We're going to do it live. We're doing it together. We're going to talk about what games we're going to be playing coming up. Because if you look back, anyone, you, me, anyone watching this, look back through our videos that we've made, there's a consistent trend of us saying, all right, we're going to play this game. And usually something happens with it, but we never really go through with things. But one of the main things holding us back from playing a lot of games is the fact that Abram doesn't have access to them at his college.
Yes.
But he does at his house. Now his college is fucked right now, and
Yes.
he is getting the hell out of Dodge. So he'll be home soon, and we'll have access to those. So let's plan. Which ones are we gonna do? What order are we gonna do? Because there's been a fucking handful of them.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? So I wake up this morning.
What
to
am
an
I gonna do with all these games? The fucking guy. Can't hold all these games.
I woke up this morning to an email from my fucking dean of students being like, "Hey, COVID is existing."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, you could either stay on campus and never leave your dorm, have all of your classes remote, and not be able to leave other than to get short breaks from the stifling isolation by walking outside and picking up food, or you could go home." So it's not a particularly difficult decision.
Yeah, because you kind of wanted to go home already, right?
I wanted to be home. There's just a lot of personal factors that I need to get out, and a lot of the stuff that was open on campus was really important for me maintaining physical and mental health. That's just not open anymore. So I need to, for a lot of reasons, I need to get home.
Yeah, don't have to deal with fucking Chucklehead McGee in the background anymore. but
a
you
lot
might
of
have to deal with fucking random vacuuming. Oh, random vacuuming. That's a classic.
Well, for the BLB viewers, my mom and sister are. My mom is a teacher, and my sister's goes to
Oh,
the high school
okay.
my mom teaches at. They're gonna be
Cool.
gone all day,
And your father?
every day. I don't know. He'll be working sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes
So,
he'll be working. Sometimes he'll be
wow.
home.
We
So
can make the loudest BLB videos that we ever have,
absolutely,
and I am ready for it.
at
I
any
am
hour of the day.
fucking ready.
Yeah, and part of that is going to be new
2
reviews.
a.m. screaming BLB episodes. Let's go. Abram confirms it right here and right now.
Well, okay, but so we want to play games. There's
I
a
do.
couple we've thrown out. I want to throw one out in particular.
Okay.
I'm gonna rephrase that. Allow me to rephrase this.
Okay, hold on. You know what? I'm gonna pull up notes. We're gonna make a
Okay.
list of this, okay? I can make a backlogged list. Backlogged.
I
doing
have
it.
very few character flaws. I've talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
2 are tied to my nipples. They're too big, and they grow hair too often, so I have to shave my nipples too often.
Okay. All right, sure.
I consider that one flaw. My nipples are one flaw. My other flaw is that I haven't played Earthbound.
Yeah.
I want one of the first, if not the first, review we do when I get home to be Earthbound.
Okay. Yeah.
Questions, comments, thoughts, concerns?
Well, not much from me because I knew about this.
Are you worried that I'll become too good of a person once I've played Earthbound?
Mostly, I'm worried about this fucking light on my face. But no, honestly, I want to play Earthbound. I've started it before. I have fucking access right here. I'll play it. That's not a hard sell for me. I have a little bit of mental doubt of if I'll finish it or not because I've heard
Sure.
3/4 of the way through you have to do just a fuckload of grinding and stuff. Like there's just some weird pacing issues in that game. But I do think that playing a solid amount of it and hopefully finishing it is a good goal. It's probably one of the longer games that we're going to be talking about here. I don't know how long Earthbound is, but
It's like 70 to 120 hours.
fuck you.
No, I think Earthbound's actually 25 hours.
Okay, so that's
30 hours.
manageable. Yeah.
It's the right length for a JRPG. Like the best JRPG Final
Persona
Fantasy
5.
would make. Persona 5 is too fucking long. I feel like I finished it when I beat Kamoshida's Palace. I'm like, I finished this game.
For those of you who are unaware, that is the first dungeon. It only played the intro. That is the tutorial dungeon.
But that's at the top of my list.
Yes.
What
the fuck?
Metroid Prime 2 Echoes is also high on my list.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's reshape this.
Metroid Prime 1?
We're reshaping this.
Okay.
Games that the two of us are going to play. I'm not playing Metroid Prime 2. I'll play Metroid Prime at some point.
Okay.
But yeah, I also would like this to be a list that is somewhat diverse of games that we're planning on playing that I think would be good to get through, but I don't want it to just be like a run of Nintendo classics, to be honest.
I feel like, okay, well then I think you're going to have to throw out some ideas also, because I feel like a lot of the ones we were talking about were Nintendo classics.
Well, there are two that don't
Ocarina of Time.
True,
sure.
yeah, okay, yeah. That was the other big one.
Yeah. And I'm happy to do either of those post haste. I don't know what that means, but I think it means I wanted to.
Ocarina of Time. You're gonna play on the GameCube, right?
Yeah, I want to play Master Quest.
Okay, well then we're gonna have very different experiences with the game.
Well, I mean, in some respects, the game's just mirrored and harder and has some harder enemies, and it's different.
And it's not remade in 3D and doesn't have gyro controls or new mechanics that they added on the 3DS version.
But I've also played a shit ton of this. That was the first game I got with my 3DS.
Yeah, you've said that, yeah.
So I put a lot of it. Here's one. I don't know how you feel about this. This is a kind of a curveball. How do you feel about a Death Stranding review?
Oh, that's an interesting one. Now, remember what I just said about thinking Earthbound might be too long? Do you remember Death Stranding existing and it being fucking long? I remember that.
I'd like to play it though.
How much have you played?
I didn't even get out of that fucking really long chapter.
Oh, okay.
Whatever that early really long chapter is it 2 or 3?
I don't know. I played like 5 chapters maybe.
Okay. It's worth considering.
I don't agree, but
Okay.
but I would like to hear your thoughts in a tangential thing. But no, I don't think that I want to get into that game. I honestly don't think it's worth the time. Is my issue. There's plenty of
Fair.
long games that I'd like to play, but I just don't think Death Stranding has enough anything to get me through it. Nah, not that either. Because I didn't like the first one.
Okay. I didn't even play the first one. I want you to throw out some games.
Well, the 2 main ones that I know we both have access to. Well, I'm pretty sure. I know we both have access to one, and I'm pretty sure we both have access to the other.
You know, I'm not afraid to buy video games.
That's true, but hey, I am considerate. All right, there's one thing about me. I'm considerate, and I'm considerate especially of your financial issues, or your financial struggles. And I'm not trying to demean you, but the fact that I don't like making you buy video games because you already do it for yourself, so I try to refrain from that.
And I'm at least buying Miles Morales next week, and depending if I wake up and I'm having a bad day, fucking Yakuza, Valhalla, Cold War.
This is a special week coming up, boys and girls. But Resident Evil 4, a game that I know both of us should play. That's a minor character flaw, but I do think that it's an important one for us to get under our belts.
Are you about to fucking say that the other one's Soten?
Yeah, and the other one is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. We both bought that game, and I know that I'm pretty sure that both of us will like it quite a bit. So I'm very excited to get into that one.
Yeah, I don't think we will, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
Okay, you don't think we'll like it?
I don't think I want to finish it.
What the fuck? What does that mean?
I think I'll have to force myself through it.
Why? What the fuck?
Having played it briefly, it's very hard and very archaic.
I've not heard those things about it, but I mean, you could be right.
But also, most people who talk about it grew up with it.
Old, yeah.
And think about what people say about Super Metroid. Then think about what you feel about Super Metroid.
I like Super Metroid.
We should do a Super Metroid review.
You know what? I am fucking down. Fun fact is I actually beat that game in order to review it, and then we just never recorded it.
I have also beaten that game.
All right, Super Metroid coming to a fucking backlog banter near you. Hit me up with one more. Or multiple more. Whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm not putting Death Stranding on this list, by the way.
Snatcher?
What the fuck is Snatcher?
Sega CD Hideo Kojima game.
Oh.
I learned that you can connect a Sega CD to a Genesis Mark II.
So, are you proposing that we both buy a Sega CD?
And Snatcher.
Is there no other way to play that game? I'm not putting a fucking game on this list. Fuck you. God damn it.
Well, one game I'm very excited to play, I don't think you have any intention to, but the first thing I'm playing when I get home, literally the first game I'm going to pop in, the next system is going to be Star Wars Squadrons, because I'm going to have Daddy PSVR back.
Fucking Cleo. She's up there. She's screwing around.
Are there any rat-based video games you want to play?
You remember Rat on the Run?
No.
It's a mobile game. You collect fucking donuts. You're a little rat.
Now, this is a mouse, but do you remember Geronimo Stilton?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he fucks.
I don't like that. I don't like the way you referred to Geronimo Stilton. Didn't he have like what was his phrase? What was his catchphrase? It was something cheese related. Can't remember. I read a bunch of those when I was a kid.
Everyone read Geronimo Stilton.
I don't like. What the fuck is going on here? But I feel like we've got 4 right now. Hold on. How do you feel about Resident Evil 4?
Oh, that's fine. I have to buy it, but that's fine. I should play it.
Okay.
How about we review Resident Evil as a collective, and I'll play through 2 Remake, because I own it and never.
I've already beaten it. Did you not know I beat that game?
No, I think the game gets demonstrably worse once you leave the RPD. So I was like, I don't care
fuck!
anymore.
I totally agree, and that's why I'm not a huge fan of Resident Evil 2.
I was like, damn, this game is awesome. And then they're like, hey, here, let's play as Ada Wong and walk around thin hallways, then do a chess puzzle. Fuck you.
Fuck that chess puzzle, and essentially everything else around that.
Yeah, then stop playing.
Fucking lame ass escape sequence. Fuck that.
But the RPD is just a better Luigi's Mansion, so I was like, that's kind of sick.
Dude, the RPD is fucking good. I was getting into that, and I was like, okay, everything like means something, and I have to remember every hallway, and like, okay, places connect back to one another, and then I was like, oh, I'm done. There's not another area like this. They just say fuck you. Oh, God. Okay. But anything else? I don't know if I don't like your Resident Evil idea. To be honest.
I don't like it either. So are we saying that we're playing Earthbound, Snatcher, Death Stranding?
You know what?
No, but we're gonna do Earthbound, Ocarina of Time, Soten,
And Resi 4.
Resi 4.
But I think we can slip one last one in there somewhere.
Horizon?
Interesting.
God of War.
I would replay God of War, but that's one I've already beaten. So I'm down to review that and dabble in it again to refresh myself, but I don't think that includes in the list of ones that we both have to play because
you haven't played
I've played about 10 or 12 hours of Horizon Zero Dawn.
I played about 4 hours, and then Breath of the Wild came out, and I said goodbye.
I got Horizon Zero Dawn quite a bit later, but I don't know, it just didn't grab me. But I think I do need to like commit myself to it at some point.
When I was younger, I didn't have very good impulse control, so I bought it even though I was getting a Switch and Zelda 3 days later.
Younger? When you were you mean?
But that's a.
But wait, I'm trying to think of one last one. Maybe an indie game.
Let's Concrete Genie, game. Not indie, but Concrete Genie.
That's close to an indie. It's just published by PlayStation, right?
Well, yeah. Who makes that? Sutopolis.
Fucking Opus, something Opus, right?
Pixel Opus.
Pixel Opus, yeah.
Sutopolis is.
What the fuck?
Pokemon.
Yeah, that's a city in Hoenn.
Speaking of weird PlayStation games, do you want to do a review for Dreams?
Do you have Dreams?
Yeah.
Do you have the game Dreams on PS4?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were trying to like fucking connive me into yes, I dream.
No, I have the video game Dreams on my PlayStation 4.
I don't, and I have no fucking intention of getting it.
I played it for 15 minutes and said, "How? Why did I buy this?"
When did you buy it? I don't remember you getting it. But do you want me to add Concrete Genie onto here?
Yeah.
Should that be our last one?
I actually only brought 2 PlayStation 4 physical games to college.
Control and Concrete Genie?
Okay, I brought 3 physical PlayStation 4 games to college.
Oh, and Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yeah.
Huh. Fucking interesting collection. I don't own Concrete Genie, but if you have to buy Resi 4, then I have to buy Concrete Genie. That's fine. That can be managed.
This is a great list.
It is. I know. I'm very excited for this, honestly, because I've been thinking about this for a while. Because like a lot of these games, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start these, and then you're like, no, wait for me, baby boy, and I'm like, okay, anything for you. That's how our conversations usually go.
Do you want to put Minish Cap?
Okay, so
I woke up to a text that said, "Colonel, I want to play Minish Cap."
You should have woken up to a lot of texts. I texted you a lot yesterday, and you didn't respond. Well. Is that a PS2 memory card?
The GameCube memory card.
Oh.
All I'm holding this up to do is to illustrate to you, if you haven't seen that the new Scott the Woz episode, Memory Cards, is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
Episode. Yeah.
It's one of his best episodes, I think. No relation, but for a little bit of backlog banter inside baseball, I propped my microphone up on top of my GameCube.
Yeah. No, I'm sure many people who have seen your videos are familiar with that. I was about to review the Scott the Woz episode, but I don't think that's what the show's about.
If we're done, do you want to talk about this list? Because I have one more topic to talk about, which is intrinsically related.
Yes. Sure, go ahead. Fucking.
Next week is an interesting week.
It is.
That's all I have to say.
Next gen is what you're trying to get at.
I am getting at next gen.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've put this on record anywhere than my Twitter this morning, but I canceled my Series S pre-order.
Well, you've told me that. You told me that weeks ago.
Right, but that's important context for the audience for this conversation.
Okay.
Now, I might still be getting a Series S.
Mm-hmm. If your parents pay for it.
No, if Newegg charges me.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Newegg has not given me a confirmation or charged me. there's not a pending charge on my card. I check my debit card religiously because I'm afraid of fraud. I have not gotten anything from Newegg. I've never nary a confirmation, nary an email. They will send me like, hey, we are Newegg. We sell goods and services. Maybe you should buy them. I get emails like that, but nothing about this Xbox that I may or may not have. I might wake up in 2 days and there's $316 out of my account and an Xbox coming to my house. I don't know. I don't know what to do about this. Frankly, I don't think one's happening. I'm playing chicken with my bank account.
Yeah.
Besides the point.
Yes.
I say it's not besides the point at all. But here's the point. Next gen, I want a PS5. Frankly,
this is a recent development.
I want both. Is what I want.
Wow. This is a even more recenter development.
I want to be the most informed games journalist I can be. I want to be the best I can be. And it requires being more experienced than I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am one of the top 50 Nintendo journalists, but I want to expand that.
Sure.
That's by Switch Weekly. I'm not claiming things that aren't true.
No, yeah, it is true, unfortunately.
I want to expand out a little bit. And to do that, I need to be geared up. In the words of Dave DGR, I need to gird my loins.
I don't know who that is or what that's supposed to mean.
I got to gird up and get ready for next gen.
Mm-hmm.
The PlayStation 5, repping the gang as usual.
Sweet Corn Festival. Repping the gang.
I've been a PlayStation fan longer than I've been a Nintendo fan.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote an article that I stand by called Bringing Miles Morales to PS4 is a Mistake. And what the article is essentially about is that so many first, second, third-party games are coming to PS4 that upgrading to a PS5, at least for the next probably 18 months to 2 years, especially considering PlayStation has now confirmed that they're going to be supporting first and second-party software PS4 through like 2023.
Wow.
Essentially,
I didn't hear that, but
that upgrade to a PS5 in the interim
yes,
is akin to upgrading to another PS4 Pro in a lot of ways. There's clearly key differences, but with so many games cross-genning, that's that. I stand by that. I think that's true. I think that's completely accurate.
Yes.
But I want to.
But you're a fucking hype man, and you like spending money, and you like acquiring new goods.
I am a man that does like to acquire a good. But I want to be able to make content for the BLB audience. I think that could be big for our traffic. I want to be able
big
to
if true.
Big if true. I want to be able to cover this stuff for CBR in a more authoritative way. And video games are just, believe it or not, important to me. And I am super excited for next gen. So I would like to get in on that. What does that mean, Tucker? Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
What it means is that PlayStation announced this morning that all stock not allocated for pre-orders is online only.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful news. Well, here's the thing. It would have been terrible optics for them to have it be in stores.
Okay.
Because of console lines. These things get on the news all the time.
Yeah.
Local news always covers this. It is a terrible look for Sony to be opening up situations that allow people to just blatantly not distance because those lines are not going to be distanced.
No.
It would have been a PR nightmare, especially considering every sign is pointing to stock being incredibly
limited. Yeah.
So to cause this sort of health risk.
Sure. Actually, you know what? This makes sense.
And then have cause a health risk, make people angry by not having enough units for them. It would have just been a disaster for a lot of different reasons. Having it online is going to make this way more fucking competitive. And these things are probably going to get scalped by bots real quick. But your boy refreshed the great Amazon crash of probably 2015 to get a Palutena amiibo. He can do it again for a PS5.
I'm invested in this quest for next gen consoles from you. I personally have no drive to purchase a console. As you said, the interim thing about the PS5 is meaning that I don't have a lot of push. I'm also not someone who likes spending money, or I don't mind acquiring new goods, but it's not something that particularly tickles my fancy. I had I had an Xbox Series X. You remember that? I had an Xbox Series X and I canceled that because I realized that it's just not something that I necessarily need to be focusing on at the moment. But I'm excited for the possibility that you
Yeah.
might be getting one. I wouldn't get your hopes up too much, but especially for launch week. But I do think that it's going to be fun to see what happens. And I will be getting one eventually. Hopefully I'll be getting both eventually. But that is a long-term goal for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of things conflicting, right? On one hand, I am at a place right now where I am growing and I want to keep that momentum up, both for backlog banter,
Mm-hmm.
to do what I can to support the fucking phenomenal work you're doing to grow the channel, because you're growing the channel. You're
Oh,
fucking
thanks,
putting in that work. But personally, CBR is going great. And I've been able to write a lot of excellent Nintendo coverage. But the reason I can write that is because I'm writing from in a position of authority. And I want to be able to write from
Abram
that
is a
authority.
fucking top. Abram is a fucking dom.
But I want to be able to cover next gen with that authority.
Yeah,
Because I want to be able to do that. At the same
Yeah.
time, I just love following the industry. It's my passion. It's what I come back to. And when everything else is going crazy, I always have that. And I'm excited. At the
Yeah.
same time, Japan has no stock for launch day.
Whoa, interesting.
As reported by Twinfinite, there is no stock in Japan. We know that there will be stock in the States. Places like Walmart have already said that on the 12th, there's going to be 4 different times that they're going to be putting stock up, like 9, 12, 3, and 6, something like that. Target said that they're going to have stock. Best Buy is saying they're going to have stock only on Black Friday. I don't know how the calculus has changed by PlayStation now mandating that stock is sold only online.
Yeah.
But there is going to be stock. Is it going to sell out like that? Yes. But I'm gonna have now in stock. I'm gonna have all my accounts put in. I'm gonna have my fucking Debbie Doodle card all set up. It's all gonna be ready to score.
I hope you do. I hope you do. And I don't want to conflate my disinterest in immediately purchasing next gen with the fact that I don't like following the industry, because that's just not true. And I will still be keeping up with the news, and I'll still be playing some of the games, as Tanner already has his PS5 on pre-order. We're going to be getting Miles Morales, and I'll probably be the one who plays it because he usually plays the intro to a game and doesn't touch it again. But so I will be keeping up with this, and I'll have experience with the PS5 from playing on his system, because I live with him. And I will be living with him for the next year now that we are moving into a house together. Our lease is at least till November of next year. So I will have pretty much 100% access to a PS5 for the next year. And that also means that I have very little drive to purchase a PS5 personally. But so I'll be able to keep up with all of that. And I'm the one who has a confirmed PS5 coming soon. So I might be able to get on that a little bit quicker than you.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to cover this with you because we've never really been, our channel was not around, 7 years ago?
Yeah, not even around for the Switch launch.
No, yeah, exactly.
I did have day one, which is fucking awesome. That's the only day one console I've ever gotten. Yeah. So I'm hoping. Well, I mean, I'm not going to have one on launch day, irregardless. To use a word that people in Maine use, it isn't real. Because even if I buy one on the 12th, it'll fucking arrive like, I don't know. But here's the important thing. There's games coming out.
Games. Nintendo Switch has games.
Including Age of Clamalama Ding Dong, which is coming out 2 weeks, which we'll cover.
Yep.
But we're going to review Miles Morales, I'm telling you right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? I was watching. Dude, those new trailers are so good. The new costumes. Oh my God. Dude, I'm so excited for that game.
That Into the Spider-Verse costume, though, is, you said this. I'm going to steal what you thought. Okay, this is one of the best implementations of a costume
in a video game.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know how they did it, but like, usually it's just like, oh, haha, the character fucking looks funny, but they just, bruh.
It was such a smart leveraging of technology, the way they're doing it. I would never have thought to lower the frame rate of the costume.
No.
I'm curious how that interfaces with gameplay, if it's going to feel jarring.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. Definitely watching it feels a little bit jarring. I've watched the gameplay where he goes and takes out like a little enemy camp on top of a roof or something, and it's definitely kind of strange because everything else around him is moving, at least in 30 frames per second on the YouTube video, and then he's at 12. But either way, it also, fun fact, I'm pretty sure I have like a third-hand account of this, but I think you can turn off the frame rate.
Oh, okay.
So you can play as Spider-Verse Miles without the frame rate changing.
That's cool. I also tend to like wearing either default costumes or alternate in-game costumes.
Same
You know
here,
what I
same
mean?
here.
Like
That
there was,
tracksuit one though, pretty fucking good. And now, oh my god, that one with the fucking jacket and the headphones. Oh god, oh, those costumes are so good. Oh
yeah.
god, I'm so excited for that game. There's a fucking spider cat in that game, dude.
I've been staying in the dark largely. I saw, of course, the original reveal at that event back in June, and then it was September. Yeah, the big PS5 blowout was. But other than that, I've seen nothing other than little gifs on Twitter here and there.
Sure.
So I can't wait for that. I also want to pick up Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
Because this seems to me to be the JRPG for the people like me who only like Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay. Yeah.
But Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. But I think I don't really have much more to say.
No, I mean, I'm excited for next gen, the possibility of next gen. I'm not getting on the ground floor, but a lot of these games coming out, like I will be playing Miles, I will be playing Edge of Calamity, I will be playing Cyberpunk, hopefully. Yeah, which is something that's happening. But we'll see. We'll see where all this comes. We're certainly gonna try our hardest to cover as much as we can. This has sort of been a more of a down week for both of us. Personally, for me, election stress and a couple other things in my personal life has been making that I'm not as engaged with working on YouTube. But hey, I have a couple of those down weeks, but I'll be right back in it. I got to admit, talking about video games today, talking about the ones that you've played, playing the ones that we're going to play, has gotten me a lot more interested in playing video games again. Which is only this last week has been completely down for me. But I'm excited for where we're going, and hopefully we can plan some more videos. We've got a couple in the back log, I guess. I don't back slot that will be coming out soon.
Yes.
Where we of course have our weekly shows that we're still going to be doing, regardless of how we're feeling. And next gen content is on the way.
Next gen content
boys
will start rolling out next week.
Okay.
There will be at base level, very minimum, there will be first impressions for Miles Morales next Friday. I'm just saying that right now because the game comes out next Thursday.
And you're going to get it on PS4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless I get a PS5, and then in that case, I'm still going to get it on PS4 and just transfer it over.
Okay.
Because I want to play it on launch day so we can talk, and I'm going to capture some footage.
Yep.
Get a fucking Elgato.
Yeah, I will. That's my plan. That's my plan.
And I'll be recording that sweet fucking 4K footage in 720p 30. That's what my laptop can handle, and that's the BLB promise.
Yes.
But yeah, we're gonna get out. Like Tucker was saying, it's been a bad week, bad day for me. Last night into today, I think people can probably tell that my energy's down. I'm a little bit fucking blotchy and pale and all kinds of things of that nature. But like Tucker said, this is very fun. Revitalized me a little bit. This is too long.
But you know what? Who cares?
Yeah, this show's never gonna go to the song again, but it's this fucking special. We're all recovering from everything, you know?
Yep. We'll see you guys next week. What the fuck are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, and Backlog Banter is gonna have some shifts come in 2 days. I'll be home, have a different set.
Oh, true.
Games,
yeah.
Fucking...
Chapter 3.
I'll record my Ring Fit Adventure Thoughtum videos for the channel.
All right, I'm ready. See you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Good morning.
I couldn't even, a gun to my head, describe what you just did. A gun to my head, I couldn't do it.
Almost every response was in Arabic with unrelated pictures, most of which were Shrek porn.